Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another video. First things first, guys, make sure you smash the likes. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Guys, remember, there's going to be a prize draw for the Chelsea shirt on Sunday or Monday. Your chance to win a Chelsea shirt of your choice from the upcoming season. Every new subscriber will be in that draw. So make sure if you haven't subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button. But let's dive into today's video, people. We're going to be discussing the goalkeeping situation at Chelsea. What's going to happen? Who's going to come in? Is it going to be a number one? Is it going to be someone to compete or challenge Kepa with a view to replacing him over the course of the coming season or the following season? There's lots to get into because, I guess at the start of the window for myself, the priorities, and I think for a lot of Chelsea fans, were get ourselves a defensive midfield player to partner Enzo Fernandez, get ourselves a centre forward, and get ourselves a goalkeeper. Those were the three key areas to address. We've kind of addressed the striker with Nicholas Jackson. We still haven't addressed the defensive midfield player with the Moises Caicedo saga rumbling on, but we still haven't even really looked like making any inroads on the goalkeeping situation. Now, obviously, Edouard Mendy shipped off to Saudi. Fine, not a problem. I think that was kind of a decision that a lot of people agreed with. He'd kind of fallen off a cliff, and it was clear that he wasn't going to get his place back in the Chelsea side. Slonina, again, another very talented young goalkeeper. He's been on the preseason tour. I'm surprised that he hasn't featured at all. Maybe not in the PL Summer Series games, but I don't know why he didn't feature against Wrexham at all. We had a coming in goal for that one. I don't really know why that was the case. Why we've not seen him. A lot of high hopes for him, and he's just been confirmed or about to be confirmed of going on loan to Kaz Eupen or Eupen, however you pronounce it, in the Belgian league. I think that's a good loan deal for him. Goalkeeper loans I think are slightly different. The Belgian league is still of a good standard. It's of a higher standard than playing for the development side at Chelsea. A lot of people say, "Oh, why didn't he go on loan to Strasbourg?" You can only have a certain amount of players go on loan to one club, so that's why he will be going on loan to the Belgian league. I think that's going to be good for him. It's a physical league. It's going to be exposure to senior men's football. I know he's played MLS, but again, this will be a level up from that. And for goalkeepers, it's just about playing time. It almost to a certain degree doesn't matter too much on where it is, as long as it's in one of Europe's leagues, as long as it's a decentish league, as long as he's playing regularly, that's going to be key for him, and it's going to be his first kind of, hopefully, real exposure to senior men's football outside of the MLS. Hopefully he'll do well. Hopefully he'll learn a lot from it. And he can come back to Chelsea the following season a better goalkeeper. But again, with goalkeepers, he's young. They don't tend to develop and hit their sort of prime till a lot later than outfield players. So look, I feel confident that he could go out on loan. He's not going to do well this season. Could even go on loan for another two seasons potentially, like we saw with Thibaut Courtois 3 years on loan. But I think we have got a really good goalkeeper on our hands. But what it does mean is that right now at this point in time, Kepa is the established number one, whether we agree or disagree with that. And at the moment, we've got Marcus Bettinelli as number two, which has only ever made one appearance for Chelsea, and I think that was in the cup against Chesterfield. So the goalkeeping situation is not looking ideal. We do need to bring someone in. And obviously, myself, like a lot of fans, know that we need to replace Kepa, but I think Kepa gets a lot more hate than he deserves. I think he's a lot better goalkeeper than he's given credit for. I mean, people are like acting like he was the reason that we came 12th last season. We would have finished a lot lower down the table if it wasn't for Kepa and some of the games that he kept us in. I can particularly think of Aston Villa away, other games as well where 3 points. So I think he's better than people suggest. Yes, he's got mistakes in him. Yes, perhaps he's not the best at long shots. Yes, you can question his his authoritativeness from set pieces and bits and pieces like that. Look, his distribution's half decent. Again, he's a half decent shot stopper as well. He's not a bad goalkeeper. He's certainly good enough, in my opinion, to get us back into Champions League football this season, and then we can reassess the goalkeeper market the following summer. But someone is going to have to come in. Again, Pochettino, very happy with Kepa. And a lot of people are saying, "Oh, this is a big L for Poch and whatnot. Oh, he's going to have to learn the hard way on this one." Look, we all know that Kepa's not good enough to get Chelsea back to winning the big trophy. He's not going to be a Premier League winning goalkeeper. He's not going to be a main Champions League winning goalkeeper. We know this, but at this point in time, to get us back into Champions League football, which is what we need, for me, he's good enough to get us into the top four, top five this coming season. No doubts about it in my mind. Look, if we can get a deal done for someone that can come in and is going to be better, then absolutely let's go and do it. But Chelsea have made it quite clear that they're not going to pay over the odds. Mike Maignan too expensive. We missed out on Andre Onana. I'm not really sure why we pulled out on that. I can't believe it's because he's too expensive. Maybe we found out that he was only interested in United, so he just walked away from that deal. But I'll get into other options shortly. But Pochettino very pleased with Kepa. You know, he said with him after the Newcastle game, we are so happy with him. He is showing great commitment and adapting to new demands from Tony, obviously the goalkeeping coach, and from the goal. He and Hilario are also working. We're so happy with him, and he's a fantastic keeper. Of course, you know, Poch is not going to exactly say, well, he probably would come out and say if he wasn't happy with him. I think Pochettino likes Kepa. I think Kepa knows Tony, the goalkeeping coach, very well. And look, they're working on his distribution. There were earlier reports saying that Pochettino wasn't best pleased with his distribution. They're working on that. Clearly, in his perspective, it's improving. And look, Kepa will be the goalkeeper that starts this season. And I think people are obviously we're going to have to accept that. It doesn't mean we have to be happy about it, but I think the criticism of him is massively over the top. You know, he played very well last season. You could say the bar was low, but his personal performance, you know, over the course of the season was very good. He was certainly one of our better players. We absolutely have to improve. But you look at the market out there for goalkeepers at the moment, Mike Maignan would be my number one choice, but there isn't necessarily, you know, I don't think we're going to be able to get him. You look at Mamardashvili at Valencia, again, another goalkeeper Chelsea have been linked with. You look at Trubin at Shakhtar Donetsk, another one that Chelsea have been linked with. But again, this is another young goalkeeper that, you know, wouldn't come in and be a first choice keeper. You know, is he going to come and sit on the bench and maybe play a few cup games, try and dislodge Kepa from that number one spot? I don't really know. You're then looking at people always say, oh, Diogo Costa. You know, if Mike Maignan too expensive, Diogo Costa at around £65 million release clause from Porto, that's clearly going to be too expensive as well. So you're looking at the position that we're in and you just think, well, who is actually going to come in at this point in time? Like who can we realistically get? I mean, I still feel that if it's going to be anyone, it'll probably be Mamardashvili from Valencia. But again, he's been linked with Bayern Munich. I know Bayern are now in talks, obviously, with David Raya from Brentford. I don't think David Raya is necessarily the right move for Chelsea to do. I think at £40 million, what Brentford are asking for, it's still too big of a transfer fee for a player of his quality. I don't really necessarily see it as a marked improvement on Kepa. So I mean, what other options we got? You know, Onana's gone, Maignan too expensive, Diogo Costa's going to be too expensive, and Trubin is a good up and coming goalkeeper, but again, do we really need another one of those? I'm not too sure. Mamardashvili again wouldn't be too expensive. I think he maybe represents the best option, but I don't think we're going to see any movement on a goalkeeper till well into August. And I think it's clear that, you know, the route the club want to go down is, the way they phrase it is, someone that can challenge and provide competition for Kepa. So it's clear to me that at this point in time, they're not looking for a new number one. Maybe they're looking for a potential new number one, but a number one, but not someone that's going to come in and be a number one right now. But I really don't know who we're going to get. The goalkeeping position is massively, massively important. And, you know, Kepa will cost you points over the course of the season. There's no two ways about it. He absolutely will. But as I've been saying, guys, I still believe that he is good enough to get us top four. He's good enough to get us back into the Champions League. He wasn't the reason why we were so shit last season. So, you know, the defence on the whole was pretty good last season. I think we were in the top 5 best defence in the league. It was the other end of the pitch that was the massive issue. But I mean, who do Chelsea get? What sort of money are we looking at spending? Is it going to be another young goalkeeper? Do we need another young goalkeeper? We've already got Slonina, who is a young up-and-coming keeper. I mean, someone like Trubin, I don't know an awful lot about him from Shakhtar Donetsk. I know Inter Milan were interested in him. Inter seems to be going after Jan Sommer. Again, another potential route we could go down is a more veteran shot stopper for a season or two, and then see what the market's like in a year to 18 months' time. That could be a decent route to go down. Could we look at someone like a Keylor Navas, for example, you know, at PSG, clearly surplus to requirements, was on loan at Nottingham Forest last season, a very good goalkeeper, would bring a wealth of experience to the ranks in that position. So look, I don't see why maybe a year's deal for him wouldn't be a bad option. I think that could be a very good option, a shrewd piece of business for Chelsea, and then reassess the goalkeeping situation in a month's time. But look, Pochettino's clearly set on Kepa as the number one for the coming season. It's not the best choice, of course, but I think for 1 year, it's not going to be a disaster. I think we're more than good enough with Kepa to get back into the Champions League places, which has got to be the aim, and maybe add a domestic cup. But I mean, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Who do you think realistically Chelsea are going to sign in goal? What realistic options would you like to see? Because I don't think there's an awful lot out there, in all honesty. So it's going to be really interesting to see what the club do. Obviously, Kepa's going to start the season as number one. I presume he's going to be number one for pretty much the whole season, unless he goes through a huge dip in form and someone else replaces him. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting, guys. So as I said, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Who do you realistically think Chelsea can sign in goal this summer? Is it going to be a number one? Will it just be someone to provide competition for Kepa? Let me know. As I said at the start of the video, guys, smash the likes. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Remember, guys, every new subscriber is going to go into a prize draw to win a Chelsea shirt of your choice for the upcoming season. Make sure you subscribe to be in with a chance to win. And we're on the road to 5K, guys. So make sure you keep smashing that subscribe button. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll catch you again in another video soon. Take care. Up the Chelsea and peace out, people.